to get short intervals to stimulate mutilation and evoke fear. And have no trace of survivors. We look forward to your results. Okay. I don't know. I don't normally hear about. I don't know if you guys hear about it that often. It's something I wouldn't go research and like find it on someone like, hey, what's the sixth dimension? Like, your mind has to, I don't know if I should say the word contemplate. It's got to compile and process something as intricate as the sixth dimension. I mean, even the fifth dimension, I think most people probably haven't felt that good. They may have related to the fifth dimension. A lot of people, archons in our world, dimension, with, what do you call it? Drugs, ecstasy. They even call it drug ecstasy, and it's basically because it takes you to a DMT triggered experience. And you can even get something called DMT, which, you know, I could purchase that right now. There's different MEO, all kinds of different ones, and I'm not saying you're not going to get an amazing spiritual experience from that, or that you won't somehow magically overcome depression, anxiety, and other disorders. Be releasing DMT as we are metamorphosizing or evolving, and that's like the sixth dimension acting as a magnet, and it's pulling you to who you absolutely are supposed to be, right? And so, let's say you got hit by a car, you die. Okay, it could happen tomorrow, right? It doesn't matter. The sixth dimension was pulling you to that outcome no matter what, and you have to agree with that. I mean, and we all have to agree with the reality. I forget what they call it, some sort of effect. I'm not sure if it's a Morrison effect or something like that. They have a name for it. Basically, it's any fate or outcome that can occur is meant to happen and supposed to happen. So you can't really fight with your fate, right? If you get that happens. I got hit by 2 cars. I can't change that happened, and I couldn't have prevented it from happening. I mean, I could have stayed in that day, right? But it happened. And in a sense, all things working together in the end was I became powerful. I became stronger because of it. I changed. I become wise. Different things. I think differently now. You know, in fact, I think I'm more intricate in my thoughts. Like, I really am a lot more deep, and it changed me almost, I could say. And so, therefore, it changed me for what I feel is the better. People could, you know, disagree with me. Like, they'd be like, Eric, hell no, I don't want to get hit by a car or learn a lesson. Fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not even gonna live life. Whatever. Yeah, teach their own. That you do, physical or mental or spiritual, it is spiritual, right? It's the outcome. Just like I said earlier, I'm not gonna go there. I'm just not ready or something. Like, it's not that I've been putting it off like that. It's been waiting. It's lingering for me to finally kind of like really think about it, thought profess, and really, what's the word? You know, like where you just really grasp it. And so it's like, no, I really got a hold of it now. Like, whoa, I knew the sixth dimension before in my head. Like, I've, you know, figured it's something afterlife, it's something magical. But now I'm starting to see, like, what would that look like? Like, I'm even asking questions like, okay, I know all the different personalities that we run into in this world. You know, you got different personalities of people. You could say astrology signs. Libra's like this, a Virgo's like that, you know, on down the line. And we could all relate that there are certain personality traits that are canningly very similar, almost like parallel universe type shit. Some people you run into act this way or have this particular pet peeve or this thing they do that, you know, is uniquely them, but there's other people who've done that, whatever. But where I'm getting at is, I thought, what would be the most perfected? And a lot of people say Virgo, which I happen to be a Virgo. My friend Sean, he's a Virgo as well. And I would say that as a Virgo, they say even it's more of a perfectionist, but they have a hard time being laid back, or whatever you want to say, calm and collective, and just enjoying life, right? And so I can understand that aspect of it. Most of my life, I kind of like more of a perfectionist in every area, working hard to become like bodybuilder and all this. Like, it was like, was that pointless? No, but today I realized I don't need to do. Man, I did weight training. In 1 year, I did weight training, track. I did basketball on top of that. Like all of these sports. You know, what else? And I mean, because I played every sport, and then pushing myself to excelling in other advanced classes and all this and that. Like, was all of that, would I do it again if I had a second run for all this stuff again? No, absolutely not. But I learned from it, and it's not the purpose or point of life. If we lived in another world, or if we lived in even a different culture, your culture or people, your upbringing, your environment is going to mold and determine who and how and what you are going to become, right? And in a sense, we go back to the Morrison effect, where everything happens for a reason, whether good or bad, and then look at a serendipity. Then yes, you were destined to go to that school, to be in this sports, to be this thing that you're doing here and there. But are these things ultimately purposeful? Absolutely not. They're not. You could just be brought up, an example, a monastery, or brought up in a monk, you know, education. I'm not sure how they culturally do this, but a lot of it is just, it's discipline. But imagine like just what do you call it? Like just letting go, meditating all day, right? They've proven that cultures that teach their children meditation are less angry, they have better, discipline and all this other stuff, homeostasis, blah, blah, blah. I mean, can you imagine if a culture of us as living souls just got together and meditated? So it's not going to happen on a massive wide aim, because everybody consciously is attached to whatever it is they want to do. This video game, my movie, I'm watching Witcher on the side over here. You know, these distractions, you know, and there's a spiritual development every time I meditate, every time I do that spirit work of just letting go and being life, being real. And then I realized through the super ego, me and my friend Devin have talked about this, that you reach a point, and we can call it super ego, we can put a label on it, whatever, but it's like you hit that peak top moment. You could be water fasting, an ascension, you have this amazing aha moment, and wow, you're breaking into hyperborea, you're in the fifth dimension, you feel so blissful, you see all these really cool things and visions in your own way, and how you interpret it, you can't even express it in words. And then you go, it's fine, after all that's said and done, the high kind of goes down, you hit that peak 6 moment, most high, but then it goes down back to where you were, and you feel so good. You're like, oh man, I feel so good. And it's almost like you evolved, you metamorphosized, you reach the peak reward, and then it doesn't stop there. It just, you are operating at that mechanism, at that momentum, at that moment of speed that is right here, right now. So the speed is your infinite, in infinite spaces, no limitations, limitless. And genital is the first where you began. And it's like, oh, we could do this again. I could just sit here and remain celibate. I could sit here and then overcome the stomach. I'm not going to eat for a couple more days. I'm not going to drink water for a few more hours. I control that. I control every aspect of my physical body, because I am a spiritual being who has mastered self, right? Whatever this is, my soul, my spirit, into the fifth dimension, back to the third dimension. Here we are again, and that's what I was saying. The cycle is, we reach the ultimate form, we see God, we realize God is us. Looking in this mirror, I'm looking in a black sun mirror, and the reflection is, oh my God. Oh my God. I am God. Backwards, I am God spells dogma. So anything the opposite of that means dogma. Meaning anything that you have to worship, a god, a goddess, gods, deities, Jesus or Buddha, Krishna, that's dogma. You're worshiping something that's been created for you outside of your living soul self, out of your physical spectrum. You had to be told about these individuals, these scriptures, passages. You have to have some sort of a mantra, a monologue, a belief. You have to have faith in it. You have to have these stories. It tells a story. It's got characters. It's got chosen people, and finally, who introduce you to a chosen God figure. Now, that's every religion ever throughout history, humankind. Okay? It's just how there is to it. Now, some people might not like how crass I just put it together like that, like I'm just bulldogging over your experience. There's nothing wrong with your experience of religion and this and that. If you enjoy it, that's great, you know, if it works for you. I'm not saying you can't find spiritual enlightenment. In fact, in religion, I just clicked that so I could go ahead. I don't know what it's doing. I may have just messed up my broadcast. New version of the game is available. Oh man. Well, it looks like we're not going to be able to play this because I got to download it. That's alright. I'm going to finish my thought on this. Maybe download the full right game, whatever. See, it's kind of like you got to have the right video game downloaded in order to play it. And that's kind of interesting too, you know. Why would I want to download a different person's game? And it's my reality, so I'm going to play the Jesus Noah's Ark, you know, video game, right? But that's not my video game, right? I am within my own self and realm of my own game, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. And basically on this, the sixth dimension, serendipity, it all tying together. I'm gonna wrap this up and tie it together. That you know, the sixth dimension's like a giant magnet, and the ether is like this whirlwind, dielectric acceleration. When you electric accelerate, because you're energy. The dielectric means pouring out of, as a magnet's pulling it the other way. It kind of pushes this nothing energy, like empty space of nothingness, but it is not nothing. It is absolutely something, and that's what we can't figure out. Like, that is a huge mental fart block. Like, how do you explain what nothingness is, what the ether is? So that's the way I look at it, though, tying it, because everything connects, and that's what I'm saying. I'm connecting more and more every moment passing. That the sixth dimension is like the fifth dimension's pushing out. We see it. We see the fourth dimension as time and space and all this like crazy things, and we think it's miracles. Like my TV, my iPhone, these things we build, ideas, is so magical, but it's physical, and actually magical is in the fifth dimension, and then magic becomes super physically real in that fifth and in the sixth dimension. I feel like you mastered it in the sixth dimension. I fully believe that. So if you were to break this down into labels and then break it down into boxes, that's what I would say. So that's all I wanted to say. Basically, the fifth dimension being something you can reach here, Hyperborea, heaven, bliss, state of DMT, knowing God, seeing God, finding God, looking in the reflection, the black sun mirror, and saying, oh my God. Blissfully so, you are your own beyond God. Basically, it's that simple. And So yes, again the sixth dimension's a magnet and it's pulling. So really, in sense, it's funny. The black sun is the sixth dimension fully. You are fully immersed in, and so in and out of this black sun, ether, this big black hole, whatever you want to call it, with words. But regardless, it all at one moment in time, imagine this, connects with anything and everything and nothing that has ever been, ever will be, and is created now and forever. That's crazy. And that's again what, they say about God is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, omnipresent, omnipotent, whatever it is, these words. It's like, what does that mean? Visualize what that means. It's actually kind of a metaphor or elaborate way of talking about the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension is what that is. Because after in the fifth dimension, you can go there right now. You leaving your body, your physical time. This is why I told you, if you want to do my water fast ascension plasma fast, it works because see, and there's very few things that can do this. This is better than time travel or waiting to find some traveling device and this and that. Look, the most advanced thing you can do is release your DMT in your physical body. Like I hear people say, oh, the most advanced formulation for, your health is this, and it's formulated in a laboratory, and they mix this and this, and it absorbs into your blood much faster than anything in nature, blah, blah, blah. Not true. Not even possible. In fact, you're so much part of nature, that's a deliberate lie. Because only nature things with enzymes, biophotons, and minerals, and things out of nature can absorb in this human body. Okay? So nothing can be outdone in health-wise spectrum in nature. Nothing in nature can be beat, or you can't compete against nature. Mother Earth it's perfect. It's just what you needed. So that's how they twist things. The fourth dimension material matrix world will try to say something is better when you can't compare it. That this is better. This is the best. It's more enhanced. This new drug, this new therapy, blah blah blah. I'm not saying there's not things out there that work or are good either, but you just can't mess with nature. And things in nature are perfect and flowing just right with harmony. So that is that. You're thinking that there's like this time travel machine that's going to be built and it's going to be better than anything. You can go back in time and fix things, all this, that. No, the greatest thing you can do is really simple. Try water fast, not thinking of time. Don't think about next week. Don't think about the football game. Don't think about what's on TV. Don't even check your phone, your text messages, your emails. Turn everything off. Try that for 1 day or 2 days. And watch if you don't feel a withdrawal feeling symptom. Seriously. I mean, turn it all off. Don't check it once. Not a single time. I talked about this on my Ascension Water Fast video. And man, I really hit hardcore DMT leak and fifth dimension hyperborea. Yeah, I can go there at any point. And how you do it, like I said, you cannot be immersed with time. That's the big key element, is letting go of time completely. Fasting from physical things. I don't need money, I don't need food. How many people can even do those things remotely for a year, or let alone a month, a week? Try a couple days, right? I promise you, you'll go back to that childhood state, the kid state of innocence, entering the kingdom of heaven. You will. It's that simple. The fifth dimension. Just sitting still, being silent, letting go of all your thoughts, your emotions, your mind, and just being life, right? Be real. Let it go. And you will see glimpses while in Hyperborea, as I've seen myself, is that sixth dimension. But it's almost like it's so far away. It's like glimpses of this ultimate form I'm supposed to be, but I'm already that thing. It's kind of like I'm a caterpillar, and I see into the future tense my flying self, but it's going to be a surprise. So I don't know details like what color butterfly I'm going to be, or what you know, wingspan and what I'll look like. I don't want to know because some people like to they don't like surprises or whatever, but I want to wait and savor that moment so it's not boring. And that's exactly what your higher self knows. Your higher self knows if it told you how the world would end or how you end or put some date and time on it, fourth dimensional construct material or whatever, it would make this existence super boring, right? And what makes this existence super fun and blissful are those rewarding spiritual moments of grandeur when you feel bliss and euphoria and that's how you know you're going the right direction, right? It makes perfect sense. If it feels good, go that way. Follow your heart. It will never lead you astray. Your intentions, and I know dogmatic people who want to be your guru, your teacher, and all that, they normally will teach you don't follow your heart. Follow God, or commands, or a book, or this character, or these chosen people. Literally, that's what they will teach. Okay? No doubt about it. Most, if any, very few, will ever teach to follow your heart. Your heart is where the home is. It knows. The heart. The heart is it. And that heart we can connect with. And you know it's right. Right? This is not some cliche. And most of these really amazing wisdoms and sophistications of Sophia, the Black Sun, they are very cliche or simple. Or, oh yeah, I know to do that. It doesn't matter if you know it. Like if you mentally are aware of it or you read about it. It only matters when you initiate and follow it, do it, right? And in many cases, it's as simple as letting go and not even doing anything at all. And that's what I think conscious world construct we're in. It always tells us the opposite, to do something, right? Makes sense. I gotta do something. I gotta get a job. I need some money, man. I need a girlfriend. I need to get a wife. I better have kids. I'm getting at a certain age. I need to get a house. What's wrong with me? I don't have my life together. See, all these things are nonsensical. They're absolute ridiculous self-determiners. I had someone tell me how self-determined I look, and I say, no, I'm the opposite. I'm heart-determined today. I'm not looking for any ambition in something physical, a tangible, materialistic thing. I'm not looking for anyone's approval. I've had people send me these things on approval. They want me to be in the top research site for cancer research online, and I don't even care. I don't need that approval. I don't need your approval. I know I've helped a lot of people cure their cancer, diabetes, HIV/AIDS, whatever, right? And it's through the healing of nature, by the way. And I only merely was following my heart when I helped save those people. So, yeah, follow your heart and you become a superhero automatically. There's no doubt about it. So, yeah, to me, the sixth dimension, I don't even really like to talk about. I wrote it this way because I was saying it. I said, dang, I got cut off. I was going to finish this about the sixth dimension and how cool it could be. Basically, I wanted to end with the gold, the third eye chakra, and DMT, right? It's what we were talking about when you do the water ascension fast. You release it naturally, as opposed to the drug and consuming or smoking it. It's all rolled in a 3D and 4D, and this is the seventh chakra, or the pineal gland, right? So it's kind of like the third dimension, bridging to the fourth dimension, and it takes you to the seventh chakra, or that gate, that opening doorway to the fifth dimension, seventh chakra, and all that, the pineal gland. And it's not like sit there and try to wait till you press go to the next thing. It's just, it all really actually happens for me simultaneously. It kind of just happened. I wanted to go do that. I wanted a great spiritual experience. I wanted bliss. It's not a mathematical, okay, check, analytical study of if I do this right, if I sit like this, if I do this breathing thing. I know so many people do that. And I'm not saying breathing techniques aren't useful or any of that, but a lot of people try to, again, go back to thinking about things when all you had to do was let go of the things, and you'll naturally be guided. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, you don't even have to listen to me. Listen to your Indian style stance. Listen to your breathing. Listen to your heart. Don't listen to me. I don't know how you feel about it. What it's your experience. Technically, it doesn't even matter if I'm expressing this in words. It's my intentions. I hope someone gets something out of this. I hope they discover their own bliss within themselves. If they see their six-dimensional self outside the window. So the 5D math, as it's happening, it's happening. Then it's perfected at the right moment, ascension, and thus from lead, and then you go to gold, or what I'd say the seventh chakra, the door opening, all this amazing sparks are flying. Feels good. You've been there. And then to the one thing I never ever talk about, which is getting to the fifth dimension, and then the sixth dimension, which I'm ready to finally mention. As I've been saying a little bit in this segment here, that there is the Most High, and it's on both paths. It's singularity. So you have one line going that direction, but it also shoots a line going the opposite direction, and that is what a ray or whatever a line does. A line is endlessly going both directions at the same time. There's no one that's going this way and versus that way. Those are just words that we can determine it by. But overall, it's unlimited, right? It's just like life. We don't know where it started and where it's going to end because it just keeps going infinitely, and that's omnipresent. So in the sense, that is the Most High, which is the six. So you have six going up that direction, and then like a roller coaster, six going down. This is why they say we bury a dead person 6 feet buried in the ground, right? 6 feet under. And I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that's probably why, because that makes sense. 6 is the most high in life. It's your highest climax moment in life. It would be a 6. It's the most high, like, for a climax, for energy, for the prime. So that means it would be in the opposite sense, 6 going down in the same sense. So it's like half your life is that 6. 6 and 6 is 12. That's your full spiral in life, from your beginning of your birthing all the way to your end, and in this sense, it can go on continuously from there, If anything, your death could be the 6. You see what I'm saying? So the death of you may actually be, we'll see, the most high event that occurs, because then from there, you're in the afterlife, and again, that now you are welcome to the sixth dimension. So it may how it works. It's just that instantaneously, which would be so magical and cool. But surprise is still not off. It definitely will be a surprise. So we fly through this experience in 3D, and we see time, matter, the fourth dimension, with death, as God, and the world, material, time, and we overcame it with what I call 5D shield. And finally, outcome is always grand in the sixth dimension. From there, it's limitless possibilities, and no real need to say seventh dimension and so on. And basically, if you went to eighth dimension, it would pretty much cycle that the whole process all over again. So 8 really doesn't fit in with nature in this one, because it's a cycle of being squared. So you see how 8 looks even? It's kind of like a cycle. It's back where you started infinitely, So in a sense, there's no sense in saying 8th dimension because it's infinite. It would just be what you're already in. You can have as many dimensions as you want to try to create, right? But the 6th dimension really is where it's like going to be total pure DMT, pure God, pure timelessness, pure infiniteness, unlimitedness. Like, where the 5th dimension is kind of more, you can have fun with it and move around in a spiritual form. You see what I'm saying? You're in a ghost-like spiritual form, your body, all this, that, and the other, but you are, like, able to create things and move around and still kind of mobile, if you will. Where the sixth dimension, I feel like you will just be this giant god inside of this thing, and just be able to be that physically or whatever in this giant god titan form, but at the same time create worlds in your head, like you as a little fifth dimension avatar that's a god creating worlds and whatever you want. And if at any point you can, instantaneously switch up to this big god mode, to this like little microcosm of that, which to us, that microcosm would be like a super god, amazing abilities, 100% plasma. We're 55% plasma, keep in mind, or 45. We only need like 55% more plasma. And that's like saying you only need 55% more to be your full god self. And I can prove that, actually. We can prove that with science, that we are 45 to 50% plasma. I mean that. And I'm talking about the thing that's a solid, liquid, and a gas. That's what you're made up of. So imagine that. And you can go research that. Go look up human bodies. It was on TED Talk even. Are human bodies, do they have plasma? Not blood, not just the blood, but actual like bioplasma. That we're made, everything's made up of this plasma, okay? They know that, this light energy. It's a liquid, it's a solid, and it's a gas. It's pretty remarkable. That's how special you are. Just keep that in mind. You are a living essence. You are, like some people say, stardust. I'm not sure how much that really brings relevance to anyone, but I mean, it's like the same thing. It's really, you're significant, right? And there's nothing actually more significant than you. Everything in your reality you make, and you're perceiving as reality, and everything that you make by your hands, every move you make is like a creation within itself. Every footstep, every not just thought, not just writing, not material things, but just every breath that you breathe is a creation. It's a masterpiece. Every heartbeat is like the greatest song ever made. And that's the thing you got to really look at, is we've forgotten our true values because we're competing and comparing with all these ideas and illusions of the fourth dimension. You see what I'm saying? And it's trying to take over your identity and your true power. Your true power. It's like we're gods with beyond, like, amnesia, and we're looking at these little trinkets and these phones and these cars as something way more significant than us, or, oh, someone must be really smart to have designed this thing or that thing. Surely I'm not very important or worthwhile. False. That is a damnation. Is a falsehood. Okay? Far from the truth. You are the most special divine being in your reality. I'm not saying that the animals, other people, archons, living souls, things in nature and trees and ocean fronts and mountains, I'm not saying that they're not special. Quite opposite. I'm saying you are a part of that nature, and you are just as special. You are just as powerful. You are a miracle. You're capable of magical things like nature, because you are nature, and you are powerful. And that's what makes you a miracle, And so when we're looking at the sixth dimension, some may say, well, Eric, what about the seventh dimension? And see, that's where I think you tinker and play around with being that little mini god self, and then the titan big god macrocosm is like, and see, you can cycle right there. That's the eighth dimension. You cycle between these two gods, and it's just a full infinite cycle between bam, 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 bam. And so the seventh would kind of be like what god you are at that moment. Like, if you're going to be the big god, then it's like a 7 moment. You're in the seventh dimension. If you want to be the little super mini god, it's like you're in the seventh dimension. And what I mean by that, too, by the way, is that you are an entity that is capable of actually comprehending the seventh dimension. Keep that in mind. You and I, truly, I don't believe anyone in this world, in this matrix of reality, I do not believe, and I could be wrong, for me, I'll say on my behalf, cannot just reach the seventh dimension. And I mean, I cannot comprehend the seventh dimension fully. Like I said, I can hardly really fathom the phenomenon of even the sixth dimension. I truly believe one day, when I ascend in the afterlife, I dialectrically accelerate, I will be, no doubt, this beautiful butterfly super god human platinum plasma energy. And it's fully comprehending, just like your eyes blink, your heart beats, and then you're breathing air. Just as easy as those simple autonomous things are, we will be in a comprehensive state of pure conscious and subconscious, like a subliminal, hypnotist, hallucinatory world that is so real that it makes this world look entirely fake and on its head, which makes sense in its fullness. We will be operating in a six-dimensional body form, gas, liquid, solid, 100% plasma. So it's endless, the possibilities. Your imagination can only go so far to where the sixth dimension actually does go. See, I'm poetically kind of a philosopher type. I enjoy philosophies and these ideas, but and what I mean by that is expressing the heavens in a English dialect where we can understand it. I don't know how much I can stress that no words, no titles, no language, no semantics, no expression, poetically even, can express beautifully the sixth dimension. And I feel like that's why I'm taking my time to thought profess it as the best of my ability. I hope I've done well, because basically I could have summarized this whole entire thing that I cannot properly express what the sixth dimension is, or the seventh, into words. And this is why this is the most far out and deep thought profess I've ever done thus far. So I hope you enjoyed. And I'm just going to read the last of this. Blissfully so. I said I'm going to start in my last live stream. I said I'm going to start saying blissfully so at the end of stuff. So be it. Blissfully so. Okay. So, really, because the six is the beginning and end of all that point that you are beyond perfection or beyond God's. We will go there no matter what. And that's the other thing I was saying about heaven and hell. So let me break that down and then I'll end this, because I don't want to go to an hour. This is what my experience, perhaps I can't speak for each individual known in reality. However, just a spiritual thought profess, which means you don't have to agree with me. It's just my experience. You can share it. It doesn't mean you back it up or support or subscribe to my thought profess, but you can share it, of course, blissfully so. I do this by knowing I am God or Goddess, and perfected platinum state will occur no matter what. So this is, again, my explanation, thought profess, on this platinum sixth dimension state, okay? So take it for what I am theorizing, what I am fantasizing, okay? This is what I want it to be. And that's what I'm saying is you've got to understand it, visualize it, know what it is, right? That's what a relationship is a connection with. So what does it look like? Stop telling me words. Even me, I need to shut up. Stop the words. Stop the titles. Eric, shut up. Okay? Let it go. Stop it. Let it go. What does the sixth dimension look like? Well, first, let's look at the third dimension. You're looking at it. You can't miss it. Fourth dimension. Outside of that, time's going by, but I don't care. I'm not going to focus on it. Bingo. So now you're in the fifth dimension. You overcome the fourth layer, that fourth dimension. You're in a euphoric state because you've done that long enough, and you do this for a set amount of time. It could be 70, 100 years. You die electric. It's not the ending of you just because your physical body, your heart stopped beating. You die electric to the sixth dimension, and that is where you're infinite, right? End of story. But see, no, it's not the end of story. You see that? It's actually the true beginning, and that is what six truly is. It's an action. You have 3, 6, 9, right? So you have to picture what is the god or goddess that I am. You know, don't say, oh, I'm old, or I'm ugly, or I'm not significant. No, there is no reason in your third dimensional reality should you ever say some negative things like that. That's static, toxic energy that's been fueled by the matrix demiurge, the toxic poison of, you know, self-degradation and negative, fueling that you're a loser, a failure. These things are absolutely incorrect. And if you get sucked into the matrix far enough, you will actually start to believe these things. I know some people have very low self-esteem, self-worth, but it goes even beyond that spiritually. You've got to let go. Don't get sucked into that. It can make you feel damned, cursed, and hexed, and that they have no right or power. You are a god. You are a goddess. Okay? No matter what. And you're being pulled to this other thing. You may be going through a lot of hell and challenges with that. That's going to make you even more powerful person. So I can't tell you to stop it. It's exactly what you're supposed to be going through. Either which way. I went through it myself. You know. Overcame that a long time ago. And I hope other of you out there have as well. Or are. So overcome the fourth dimension is what I'm saying. Stay calm and serene in that fifth dimension. You can be perfectly fine there, but what I notice a lot of gurus, the world of archons, they will try to pull you back into the third dimension. And why is that? Because they are in the fourth dimension, meaning let's say they're wealthy, they're powerful, okay? Those type of control freaks or elite type, you could call them parasitic, reptilian, blood-sucking vampire zombies, whatever, okay? They're just like you and I. The only difference is they may have power, they're on drugs, they're incapable of affording a more higher up level. And this is why they do this, because they know spiritually they cannot ascend past you. So what they use is they use tools of the material world against you. Oh, I got this and that, and I have all this money you don't have. And you got to go to work and waste your time to get these things. So they've created a world of competition. Basically, it makes them feel like they're above you and a god. And that is what Yahweh's entire anthropomology is creating a god that is above and is materially, time is all material things. So if you don't care for those things, like we've talked about many other times, you are operating in a fifth dimension where, shoot, I don't even need food. I don't need but anything gazing at the sun and maybe water, and I can go a long time without those things. But nature will guide me, the black sun will provide, and I will get everything I need, right? And even when you overcome all that, then material things will fall in your lap. You'll get $1 million because you know how to handle the fourth dimension and $1 million. You don't think you're that powerful? In the fifth dimension, you are the one that's creating this matrix demiurge. You are wiring this entire masquerade, this entire plasmoidic cesspool and demiurge of singularity, and it's beautiful that it's the opposite of what you want, because that means it's working right. It attracts you in, and you are fueling this entire show. You're the spark, baby. You are the light. You're the star of the entire show. That's the beauty of all this. And so you don't actually ever age when you think about it, because you're always going through life and you're gorgeous. Some would say, Eric, that's easy for you to say because you're still young. You're 33 or 32 years old, however old you are. No. I know I'm heading towards platinum pure plasma in the sixth dimension, and so should you. You should know there's something so incredible that will come ahead, but don't forget, to get there, live blissfully so, right here, right in this now, and you will get to that sixth dimension just like you should. You see that? Just like you should. Like you should, as opposed to all this hell you got to put yourself through, right? We know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You just you know. Um, so in reality, in the serendipity of things, you don't actually ever age when you think about it. When actually you let go about it. Don't think about it. You let go about it, because if you think about it, you'll say, "Oh, look at my blemishes, my wrinkles. I'm getting old. My teeth." No. Uh, let go about it. I like that. That's gonna be a new word there, right there too. Let go about it. Let go about it. Let go about it. Stop it. Let it go. Let go about it. And blissfully so. There's some new words for the dictionary here. Spiritual Wikipedia. So be it. It's a thought professed for your day. This means I never actually age. I just go through evolutionary process. After perfected golden seventh chakra, third eye state, you actually get younger. Have you ever known it when you're spiritually blissful, euphoric? You feel like you're getting younger, more youthful, energized. Yeah, imagine that all the time, right? And the only thing in our way is the material world telling us otherwise, or we need to go to work, get a job, and blah blah blah, all those things. No, you don't need to do anything, actually. They say self-determined I am. No, I'm heart-determined, which means I let go. I don't want to weigh my heart down with too many burdens, right? Makes sense? So after this perfected state, we can call it seven chakras. I don't care if you got 20 or 30 or 100 million of them, okay? The third eye, you know what I'm talking about. Activation, you see the fire, you know, in your eyes, in the head, the pineal gland. So you overcome that fourth dimension of time and material, right? So literally, then you die at exactly the right moment that you're supposed to, and then metamorphosize and ascend into the final plasma platinum state after gold. Because gold is where we can achieve gold right now. Some would argue with me that that's not possible. Someone like myself, my friends, Sean out there, Devin, you could say, oh, they're not perfect. They're not spiritually pure and perfect in all their ways. Well, that's not for you or anyone to decide. And actually, where you're at right now, when you do ascend and you figure all this stuff out, you actually are on a golden stage, right? You're just filtering out any other obscurities, like, say an archon bothers you and it distracts you and makes you angry or upset. You have those little moments that you go through, but you eventually get better and better and better at it. And that is your perfection evolutionary transmutation from your lead self or the poison self, we all been there, to your inadequate self, to a more perfected state where your third eye is open more often. You walk through life and you say, oh, I'm not going to be fooled by this and that. I know better than this. And da-da-da. Right? So, I certainly don't live with fear or guilt or shame anymore. Like I've been through those things, It's like I relate it to like a metamorphosis, ascension into the final plasma platinum state after gold. So that's where we're headed. Like that's why I try to visualize it, and I've been doing it. That's how I know I'm getting ready, because now I'm starting to visualize the plasma, the platinum state. And for a while I knew, oh no, I'm not there yet, I'm not ready, so I wouldn't talk about this subject. So I'm very honored and grateful and somewhat proud of myself, spiritually proud, humbled, that I have reached this state ever so gracefully, and it was eventually, gradually, this state of awareness, realization of the sixth dimension self that I'm heading to, that plasma state. I am gold now, officially, full solid 100% gold, golden state. It's the golden dawn. That means now the time for the chosen living souls is now. This is the ascension. It's you right now. It may not be a whole army, it may be a whole army, it doesn't matter. It's you right now, and you're ready for that army as we ascend. That is that plasmatic platinum state I'm talking about. So again, I'm so happy, thrilled, and honored and humbled to break this news to you that that's where I'm at, officially. And I'm not saying I'm in the sixth dimension platinum plasma state yet, obviously. I'd be a fool to say that. I'm not there yet. I will be, as I'm supposed to. I'm being magnetized into that. at perfect timing. There's nothing I can do to make that faster process. I am doing perfect. And you should know you are doing quite swell, just doing just fine as well on your own. Okay? So that platinum state is nice to have. It doesn't mean there's another God or something above me necessarily. As we know, that time exists, and evolution is, I'm a stronger person now than when I was a little kid, right? My heart was more innocent back then, but now I'm going back to that childlike state of innocence, and it makes me feel non-guilt, non-shame, non-regret, which brings in joy, bliss, happiness, peace, serenity, right? And a gentleness about myself that I'm fine and dandy right where I'm at. Let me finish this up. You get me on this topic. I feel so good talking about it. So thank you for letting me share this. I want to keep it under an hour. Letting go. I know, acknowledge this, I'm not fully ready for it just yet. Yeah, so you're looking on the outskirts and you're like, that's my God self. I'm going to be one with that one day. And just being okay and being accepting of that, approve of that. What's that look like? And this way, in your mind, you start to map it out just as you should, whether you naturally or thinking about it. It's nice to know. I think you get to that stage where you're starting to think about it, then let it go, and then just watch and see how it traces out, and you become the line solid on the outskirts. So letting go and know this process will happen no matter what. See, we externalize things, the externalization when we go, when we die, based mentally on what we believe. Like if you live in guilt or shame, as I said in the last video, you'll see fire of hell, because you already will be living in that hell, the lake of fire. You're spinning in a lake of fire now. If that's what you think, then that's where you go. Think you are good or believe in some way, then you enter heaven. It's your belief. I believe in Jesus, Krishna, Buddha. I'm going to this place, heaven, it's blissful. But you can already experience that now. And for sure, we're all going there no matter what. If you're a living soul, you got to return back to that sixth dimension self. However, those are all things of the mind. The fire and the heaven. Your brain is trying to compartmentalize what this next place is going to be. Heaven, good, something you feel good. Hell, all the most tormentful pain and suffering you've ever could endure or think about. Okay, all man-made thoughts you would not have known about had not someone taught you with words what those things are in Sunday school or some Bible book, slave manual, or belief system filled with dogma and bias about how you should live, rather than what you know to live. Your heart tells you your commands. It's a natural flow. You don't need some principles or a law. Law equals lies. Never forget that. The soul knows you are going back home to the heart center, no matter what. So it supersedes what the mind wants, like what the mind wants to believe, what it creates, what it thinks about. That's why it's best to just forget about words entirely and then try to configure and figure out spiritually, knowing what your visualization is telling you. It will tell you everything you need to know. There's no hidden message or mystery to the heart. If it seems that way, you're listening to your mind too much, and you just need to let go more. Letting go more will allow more visualization, letting go even deeper, and it's going to let it be known what it's expressing to you, what it's telling you. Not with words. God doesn't, Sophia, Black Sun, Lilith, doesn't use words. Right? This higher self version of yourself, it connects with you. It leaves little cookie crumb trails, spiritual cookie crumbs. Okay? Anything else is something you create out of your mind, thoughts. It supersedes the mind's wants, however. It's going back to singularity, or no heaven and hell duality. We could just say it like that, because that is what those things do. Your thoughts create duality. illusion. Okay? Well, one hand on the right hand is doing one thing, the left hand's doing something behind it, and this is what creates illusion. Just like one thing's telling part truth, while another thing over here is telling a complete lie. And that's what creates illusion. Illusion is one thing and the other, right? It's an illusion because there is no duality. Right hand was doing what the right hand was doing, right? That's the truth. And the left hand was doing what the left hand was doing. But since they were both going at the same time, just because it confused you, because you can't keep up with it, and the subliminal hypnotrance is that you didn't see that the other hand stole your heart. That's a deep one right there. Okay, I'm going to end it with, we realize there's absolutely no reason to worry or fright. Death is, or whatever is to come. You ascend just at the right natural flow, no matter what. You will see bliss here when letting go. All these thoughts, so you let all the thoughts go, and you see the fifth dimension, heaven, where you're looking out the window of becoming in the sixth dimension, which will be nice to have the superhero human powers and be one full beyond God powers over your mind and what your mind can't even reason for ever.